Attention members, this could save your life and your life savings. No matter where this group inspires you to lose your mind and find your soul, whether it's the mountains or the rivers, or you want it to connect with like-minded adventurers. And it doesn't matter if you are a full-time adventurer and a superhero to your kids, or you are a solo business professional counting down the seconds before you could punch the clock and head out for your next adventure. Edgar and Monique created this group to inspire you on your next adventure, and the next one, and even the one after that. But one thing we don't like to admit is that adventures can be dangerous, whether it's a danger noodle, a cactus, heat, dehydration, gravity, a car accident on the way to or from your adventure, or just my extra layer of quarantine fat. You may have to get to a hospital, and in a hurry. In Arizona, when it comes to search and rescue, it's complicated on who pays for it. It depends on if it happens in the national forest, on state trust land, private land, and if there was any negligence. Did you bring enough water? Were you on the marked trail? To ensure you have the right coverage for your adventurous lifestyle, go to www.insurityfinancialservices.com. And since air ambulances are considered a common carrier and not a medical expense, you can learn about MASSA, which stands for Medical Air Services Association, and meet me, Tim Gustafson, fellow adventurer. In Arizona, there's 7.2 million people, 68 hospitals, but more importantly, out of those 68 hospitals, there's only 13 level 1 traumas, 1 in Flagstaff, 1 in Tucson, and 11 here in Maricopa County. Typically, in an emergency situation, a ground ambulance brings you to the first hospital. Even if search and rescue is involved, a lot of times they'll airlift you from the top of the mountain to the base and then drive you in. In a true emergency, a level 1 trauma is where you want to be. So if the first hospital isn't it, they'll get you stabilized, have you sign an ABN form, which stands for Advanced Beneficiary Notification of Non-Payment, and then air transport you to a new hospital. And again, due to the Deregulation Act of 1978, air ambulances are classified as common carriers and not medical expenses, making it the most denied claim by an insurance company, which could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. That's where MASSA comes in. It covers you by ground, by air, anywhere. It even covers fixed wing ambulances. MASSA has a slew of other benefits too, like visitor transportation, where if you're hospitalized more than 100 miles away from home, MASSA will fly somebody via common carrier round trip to visit you, or return to home services, where they'll transport you to a local hospital to recuperate or pay for your transportation back home. If a medical emergency happens while you're with your kids or your fur babies, MASSA will even hire a qualified attendant to fly with the kids to get them back to where they need to be. One of MASSA's most popular benefits is the vehicle return. So any car, van, truck, RV, or motorcycle that you may be adventuring with, they'll tow it back to your home. And not to be morbid, but MASSA would even pay to transport your body if the worst were to happen. And if your adventurous spirit brings you beyond the Arizona borders, MASSA's got you covered there with worldwide coverage. MASSA's not just for when you're out adventuring, it's for all the time. In fact, 90% of all emergencies happen within 5 miles of your home, which makes sense because, well, most of us spend 90% of our time within 5 miles of our home. But with this, there's no deductibles, there's no claim forms, there's no health questions, there's no dollar limits, there's no networks. So please, go to insurityfinancialservices.com today to enroll. But until then, stay awesome and adventure on.